Every week, without you even noticing, the muscles in your legs are slipping away, and the price you pay is a loss of independence, a higher risk of falls, and endless frustration. Do you feel your legs getting weaker even though you haven't changed your routine? Stay with me for the next 15 minutes, and I'll reveal 3 simple, science-backed exercises that stop the decline today, not tomorrow. If that hits home, give this video a like now. Your brain will thank you for the boost in motivation. I'm Dr. Laura Martinez, a physiotherapist with 20 years working with adults over 60. My research shows that 80% of seniors experience measurable leg strength loss after the age of 65. What we call sarcopenia is simply the gradual shrinking of muscle fibers. It's invisible at first, but each week the loss adds up, much like a leaky faucet you ignore until the floor is wet. Weak legs affect balance, circulation, and even your mood. The cascade can lead to falls, hospital stays, and loss of confidence. But there is a countermeasure that requires no equipment, only 3 minutes a day. Let's break it down step by step. Comment below, I'm ready, if you're committed to reclaiming your strength. First, let's understand why our legs grow weaker after 60. After 60, the body's ability to build new muscle proteins drops about 1% per year. Think of muscle as a building. The worker's protein synthesis are fewer, while demolition, breakdown, stays the same. The result is a net loss of muscle mass, especially in the quadriceps and calves. Second, capillary density in the legs shrinks, limiting oxygen delivery. Oxygen is the fuel that powers the workers. Without it, they tire faster, and you feel breathless after a short walk, with recovery taking longer. Third, the nervous system's feedback from the legs weakens, a process we call impaired proprioception. Your brain gets fuzzy signals about where your foot is, raising fall risk. Even standing still can feel wobbly. Now that we know what is happening, let's explore how we can reverse it. The first exercise is the seated leg extension. Sit on a sturdy chair with your feet flat on the floor. Slowly straighten one leg until it is parallel to the ground. Hold for 2 seconds, then lower it back down. This simple motion re-engages the quadriceps, stimulating protein synthesis and improving microcirculation. Breathe in as you lift, exhale as you lower. Do 10 repetitions on each side, focusing on smooth, controlled movements. If you feel a gentle burn, that's a good sign. Your muscles are waking up. The second exercise targets the calves and improves proprioception, the standing heel raise. Stand behind a chair, holding the back for balance if needed. Rise onto the balls of your feet, lifting your heels as high as comfortably possible. Hold for 1 second, then slowly lower. This action promotes blood flow through the calf muscles, enhancing microcirculation and sharpening the nervous system's feedback loop. Perform 15 repetitions, pausing briefly between each raise. Remember to keep your core engaged. A stable core supports better balance. Finally, we move to the third movement, the seated marching. Sit upright, back straight, feet flat. Lift one knee toward your chest as if marching, then lower, and repeat with the opposite leg. This dynamic motion activates the hip flexors and strengthens the coordination between the brain and the legs, boosting proprioception. Aim for 20 alternating marches, keeping a steady rhythm. Inhale as you lift, exhale as you lower. These 3 exercises together create a balanced approach. They stimulate muscle protein synthesis, improve microcirculation, and sharpen proprioceptive feedback. Consistency is key. Just 3 minutes a day, 5 days a week can reverse the weekly loss you've been experiencing. What do you think about incorporating these movements into your daily routine? Let me know in the comments. I really want to hear your perspective. If this is opening your eyes to a new possibility, hit that subscribe button and let's keep exploring together. Remember, the journey to stronger legs starts with a single deliberate step today, right now. Now that you have a clear picture of the 3 cornerstone movements, let us explore how to weave them into the fabric of your daily life so that they become as natural as breathing. First, think of a moment in your routine that already holds a pause, a morning coffee, a television commercial break, or the time you wait for the kettle to boil. Those tiny pockets of idle time are perfect windows to slip in a set of leg lifts without feeling rushed. By anchoring the exercises to an existing habit, you create a mental cue that triggers the action automatically. Over time, this association strengthens and the movements become an effortless extension of your day. Consider also the principle of progressive overload, a gentle scientific term that simply means you should aim to make each session just a shade more challenging than the last. This does not require heavy weights or fancy equipment. It can be achieved by adding a single repetition, holding the top position for an extra second, or slowing the tempo of each lift. For example, on the seated leg extension, you might begin with 10 repetitions per side, then after a week increase to 11, and so on. In the standing heel raise, you could linger a heartbeat longer at the peak before lowering. These incremental adjustments keep the muscles guessing, encouraging them to rebuild stronger fibers and counteract the natural decline. Another subtle yet powerful tool is the use of mindful breathing. When you inhale, you draw fresh oxygen into the bloodstream, which fuels the microscopic engines inside each muscle fiber. Exhaling as you lower the limb helps to release tension and supports a smooth, controlled motion. By synchronizing breath with movement, you enhance the circulation to the working muscles, delivering nutrients more efficiently and flushing out metabolic waste. Over weeks, this practice not only improves strength, but also cultivates a sense of calm focus that can ripple into other areas of life, perhaps making a stroll in the park feel more like a meditation than a chore. Let us now address some common obstacles that many seniors encounter when starting a new exercise routine. The first is the fear of pain. A gentle ache in the muscles after a set is normal. It signals that the fibers have been recruited and are beginning the repair process. However, sharp or stabbing sensations are a warning sign that something is off. Perhaps the range of motion is too ambitious, or the joint is not adequately supported. In those moments, pause, assess your alignment, and consider reducing the depth of the movement. It is better to perform a modest, pain-free repetition than to push through discomfort that could lead to injury. The second obstacle is the perception that 3 minutes is not enough to make a difference. In reality, the body responds to the quality of stimulus more than the sheer quantity of time. Consistency, combined with the targeted activation of the quadriceps, calves, and hip flexors, triggers the biochemical pathways that stimulate protein synthesis and improve blood flow. Think of it as planting a seed and watering it daily. The tree does not sprout overnight, but with steady care, it will grow taller and stronger than before. A third challenge is the temptation to skip sessions when the day feels busy or when motivation wanes. Here, the concept of micro-commitments can be a lifesaver. Instead of framing the exercise as a separate task, view it as a brief pause that refreshes your mind and body. Even if you can only manage a single repetition of each movement, that tiny effort still sends a signal to the nervous system that the legs are being used. Over time, these micro-commitments accumulate, building a habit that survives the ebb and flow of daily life. Now, let us turn our attention to the broader lifestyle factors that amplify the benefits of these exercises. Nutrition, for instance, plays a pivotal role in supporting muscle health. Adequate protein intake supplies the building blocks, amino acids that the body needs to repair and build muscle tissue. Aim for a handful of high-quality protein sources each day, such as beans, lentils, fish, or low-fat dairy. Pairing protein with a modest amount of healthy fat, like a drizzle of olive oil or a few nuts, can further enhance absorption and provide sustained energy for your workouts. Hydration is another often overlooked component. Dehydration can reduce blood volume, impairing the microcirculation that delivers oxygen to the muscles during each lift. Keeping a bottle of water within arm's reach and sipping regularly ensures that the vascular system remains efficient, allowing the calf raises to truly boost circulation throughout the lower limbs. Sleep 2 is a silent architect of recovery. During deep restorative sleep, the body releases growth hormone, a natural catalyst for muscle repair and regeneration. Strive for a consistent bedtime routine that encourages at least 7 to 8 hours of uninterrupted rest. If you find yourself tossing and turning, consider gentle evening stretches, perhaps a seated ankle rotation or a slow knee to chest pull to signal to the nervous system that it is time to unwind. Let us also acknowledge the mental dimension of leg strength. Confidence in one's mobility often correlates with willingness to engage in social activities, travel, and hobbies that keep life vibrant. By committing to the 3 exercise protocol, you are not merely strengthening fibers, you are reclaiming agency over your daily choices. Imagine the satisfaction of stepping onto a bus without hesitation or dancing at a family gathering with a steadier rhythm. These imagined scenarios can serve as powerful motivators, reinforcing the habit you are building. To help you stay on track, consider keeping a simple journal. Record the date, the number of repetitions, any sensations of tightness or ease, and a brief note on how you felt afterward. Over weeks, you will be able to look back and see tangible progress, a longer hold time, smoother balance, perhaps even a reduction in the occasional wobble you once felt. This visual evidence can be a potent source of encouragement, especially on days when the internal voice doubts the effort. Now let us anticipate a few frequently asked questions that often arise when seniors begin this regimen. One common query is whether it is safe to perform the standing heel raise if you have mild arthritis in the knees. The answer lies in listening to your joints' feedback. The movement primarily engages the calf muscles and places minimal load on the knee joint, but if you experience any joint pain, you can modify the exercise by performing it near a sturdy countertop, using a wall for additional support, or reducing the height of the raise. The key is to remain within a comfortable range that does not aggravate the arthritic area. Another question concerns the appropriate pace for the seated marching. Some viewers wonder if a faster tempo yields better results. In truth, the emphasis should be on controlled, deliberate motion rather than speed. A steady rhythm allows the hip flexors to fire fully and encourages the brain to fine-tune its proprioceptive signaling. If you rush, you risk compromising form and diminishing the neural benefits. Think of it as a slow, purposeful march, each lift a statement of intent. A third inquiry often touches on the role of footwear. Should you wear supportive shoes during these exercises? While the seated leg extension and marching can be performed barefoot, the standing heel raise benefits from a shoe with a thin, stable sole that offers a modest grip without cushioning that might dampen the muscle activation. If you prefer to be barefoot, ensure the floor is non-slippery and free of obstacles. The goal is to provide enough stability for balance while allowing the foot muscles to engage naturally. Finally, some viewers wonder how long it will take before they notice a difference. The reality is that each individual's timeline varies, influenced by factors such as baseline fitness, consistency, and overall health. Many people report feeling a subtle increase in stability within a couple of weeks, while measurable improvements in strength often become evident after a month of diligent practice. Patience is essential. The body's adaptation processes operate on a gradual scale, much like planting a garden that blooms season after season. As we draw this conversation to a close, let us recap the essential pillars that support stronger legs after 60. First, the 3 targeted movements, seated leg extension, standing heel raise, and seated marching, address muscle protein synthesis, microcirculation, and proprioception in a balanced fashion. Second, the habit-forming strategies pairing with existing routines, progressive overload, mindful breathing ensure that the exercises become sustainable and effective. Third, the complementary lifestyle habits, adequate protein, hydration, restful sleep, and mindful journaling amplify the physiological response and cement long-term gains. When these elements align, the downward spiral of leg weakness can be halted and even reversed, granting you greater independence and confidence. Before we part, I'd love to hear from you. What has been the biggest barrier you've faced when trying to stay active, and which of the tips we discussed feels most doable for you right now? Share your thoughts in the comments. Your experience could spark an idea that helps another viewer overcome a challenge. If you found this guide useful, consider giving it a thumbs up. Your small gesture signals to the algorithm that more seniors like you should see this information, and it also gives me a boost of motivation to keep creating content that matters. And if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button and tap the bell icon so you won't miss future episodes where we dive deeper into topics such as joint mobility, balance training, and nutrition strategies tailored for mature bodies. Remember, the journey to stronger legs starts with a single deliberate step today, right now. Take that step, stay consistent, and watch as each day adds a layer of resilience to your life. Thank you for joining me, and I look forward to walking this path together in the next video. Stay safe, stay active, and keep moving forward. Remember, each small effort compounds, turning today's modest stretch into tomorrow's confidence. If this message resonated, share it with a friend who could benefit, and let us know in the comments which exercise felt most empowering for you. Until our next session, keep nurturing those legs and let your vitality shine. Hopeful, strong.